So we'll go ahead. I think we can get through most things pretty quick. A lot of update type things. The minutes, everyone get a chance? I sent those out. Any discussion? Lindsay, the only thing I didn't know, who was the other park employee that was here with Andy?
Sam.
What's his last name?
Sam Moore, Moore.
Okay. So any questions, anything on the minutes?
Nope.
Lindsay, I do have a question about minutes and minute taking.
Mhm.
Do other committees have like a paid secretary or a town person that takes minutes?
For like our planning and zoning boards, yes,
And the
and
CIC.
ECB. Who does it for CIC?
Kim.
Kim?
I think the ag
But that
committee
was
might
good.
too. Who does it for ag? I can't remember. I don't know. I just, Gene Chrisman emailed me and said, you should be sending the draft minutes like within 2 weeks of the meeting, which
That's the law.
I haven't been. I mean, honestly, what I do is sit down and watch the meeting and take minutes once it gets posted. So, I mean, I don't know if there's a more efficient way or,
I'll find out.
but,
I know not all committees and boards have a secretary,
but
but I can find out for you.
I just feel like, I mean, if we ever have a meeting without Zoom, I'm in trouble because running the meeting, I don't, feel like I gather everything correctly. So, but, I mean, if you could just look into that and just,
Of course.
so, in the meantime, I'll wait and watch the Zoom meeting again. But gives me something to do on a Sunday morning.
Hey, they're happy to have the minutes, I think.
Well,
as
there
far
have
as-
been people that look at the minutes and have questioned some things and have tried to find some things, so. But, so I think it's a good thing that we do have them, so,
Okay.
I'll try,
But-
because we also do the live transcript, so they can always reference that.
okay.
Or they can re-reference the video with the live transcript, so, but I will find out for
Okay.
sure.
So again, any questions? If someone wanted to make a motion, we could approve those or amend them or whatever.
Make a motion to approve.
I second it.
Okay, so that crosses that off, which takes us right quick to Lindsay.
Hmm.
So town activities, updates. I listed a couple of quick things there, Lindsay,
Yeah.
that you and I had discussed or by email or whatever, but any other things you wanted to share?
Yeah, a lot of positive things. So the highway crew and my team wrapped up the front half of Outhouse Park paving.
So,
A lot of great feedback on that. We were hoping that we could get the whole thing done this year, but with the rain we had for about a week and a half, that really put us, I would say, behind from our goal of finishing it. So they are gonna do some work this winter on just getting the base cleared for the back half. And then paving will be slated for sometime next summer. I'm not gonna commit to a time just because Jim's team has a lot of other highway work, so. But by the end of 2023, that entire path will be paved.
Just a quick, actually, it was one of the guys that was paving said, how about that area where the food trucks park? Because why don't we box that out and pave that area too? Would that make sense or not?
It wouldn't, because those paths that we have done are 10 feet wide,
Oh,
which
okay.
gives enough room for the food trucks to
Okay.
be on that path
Okay.
with people still able to get by.
You were just saying just because
We
of
had,
the,
we had talked about
okay,
it.
so they did.
Yeah, we
Okay.
did. I'm like, it doesn't make sense. I feel like that might open up for people to think that they can drive their cars
Yeah,
down
okay.
there because the path is very wide
Yeah.
as it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So being that much wider than what that stone trail was will
Oh
help
my gosh,
anyway.
it's
So,
like
yeah, I just feel bad.
6
I mean, Andy's not here, but I'm sure they had ruts to fill from those trucks going in and out from
It was
movie night.
okay.
Not too bad. Okay.
No, not bad at all. Not bad
Okay.
at all. So I'm super excited about that path. We already saw a gentleman in a wheelchair using it last night, and we just finished paving it last night, and they did a lot of the handwork today. Moms with strollers going
that's
around
great.
without,
Yeah.
going off-roading. So I'll be super excited once that's completely done. So everyone can
It
enjoy it.
appeared to me that you were paving right up to the pirate.
Yes,
Mhm.
yeah, so we
Too, right?
did, right up to like where that part is squared off. And then we also paved right up to the restrooms and the other path leading to the
Mhm.
playground. Now, as everyone knows, the pirate ship playground is not incredibly accessible to everybody just based off of the material that's used there, but at least maybe in the future, who knows, maybe we make
If
that
you
more
ever,
accessible.
if you ever went with the same material that's over at the other park, the inclusive one.
Exactly,
It would get, like somebody like my granddaughter would be able to go.
right
and
over
get-
there,
Get where she needed to get. Yeah.
exactly. So we're setting
But
it up
that's,
for
I know that's
that.
a huge expense.
It is, but I don't think it's something that's off the table,
Mm-hmm.
you know, in the next 5 to 10 years, which I know your granddaughter will be a little bit older, but still, you know.
Probably still using that.
But no, I was excited. It was very packed yesterday. To my
Good.
surprise, my son was like, "Let's go to the pirate ship park." I was like, "Ah, yes, let's go." I was hoping he would want to rollerblade, but he's like, "No, we'll just play." I do have some updates. So we did have the Ontario ARC Festival that was hosted at Outhouse Park. I heard it went well. They had bounce houses, a band, a little pumpkin patch, and some other things. And I didn't hear anything negative about it. I'm not sure if you guys heard anything about it either. So I say no news is great
The
news.
Director of ARC, who's a friend of ours.
Yeah,
She was happy.
awesome. I hope they want to use it next year too, and they can just keep expanding and making it like better.
And she's.
We do have the Apraxia Foundation. Their event is this Saturday. They're having it from, I believe it's 1 to 4. So it's around the same time as Halloween at Ononda. But it's open to the public, but it's very much geared towards their foundation. So
What's the
there's
name of the foundation?
Apraxia Foundation. So I know their president and CEO is coming to do a speech. There's food trucks and just a fun event for
And that's
people.
being done at Outhouse.
It's at Motion Junction.
At Motion
Yeah,
Junction,
yeah, they
okay.
decided to have it there. So
So are we going to have a policy for the use of a private event at Motion Junction?
if someone, maybe eventually, but right now everything's public events only.
Okay, so people can still go there and use it.
Oh, yes, they can join in on whatever celebrations that are happening. That was one of the stipulations with them having
Okay.
at Motion Junction, as long as it is accessible to the public,
Mhm.
they can have their event there.
Mhm.
The requirement for me is that I need to know just what types of activities they're planning. If they require any type of tent, just to make sure it's safe because it is on private property and any
Mhm.
liability
Insurance,
insurances. Yep. Good question, Karen. We did decide to close Motion Junction down starting December 1st through Memorial Day weekend. It has been brought to our attention that that playground gets very slick with the slightest bit of rain and or frost in the morning. So to avoid any issues, accessibility wise or, otherwise with snow, not everyone is able to use that playground if there's snow on the ground. Someone in a mobility device cannot roll their wheelchair onto that playground. So if they cannot use it, then no one should be able to use it.
What were those dates again?
December 1st through Memorial Day. We also are planning on the pavilion build as well. So a lot of the crane work and other activities will happen between April and May. So that way the park is closed anyway for safety. And then by Memorial Day, our hopes is that we won't need to have it closed for construction.
So will that be a policy every year, or is the May 30th date, is that just this year because?
Just,
under
yeah, just
construction?
this year for the May 30th date. But I do think just going forward in the future, December 1st, I would say through April 1st would be a reasonable time period to close that park.
Mhm.
But for this year, as we continue to build and just to make it safe, I think it's best just to close it so people aren't getting disappointed thinking it's open and
Right.
coming in. What else, guys? So the YMCA proposal went through, so thank you guys for your support. We are in full swing. I just met with Jason Gottfried. He's the executive director for recreation through the Y. Met with him today. We're gonna get marketing materials next week so we can start pushing it out to our community members. Doug had also talked with John Goodwin about the city's program that they're still holding at Baker Park and Sonnenberg. And the intention is to still give our town residents the same rate as the city residents. So those are just other options for our residents. Very excited to see what's to come. I'm very excited that they're going to be staffing lifeguards for us, the YMCA that is staffing lifeguards at Ononda between 9 and 4 p.m. And then we cover that 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. weekends and holidays. They're also going to be training our lifeguards as well. So
That's great.
that's huge. Yeah, it's more of a partnership than it is a competing thing for
Yeah.
lifeguards. So we're all in this together and so far it's been a very pleasant experience. So,
When's it scheduled for completion?
for which part?
The why?
The why?
Yeah, when is supposed to be completed? Open.
Fall of 23 is what they're
Next-
saying.
Next fall.
Yes, but I was under the impression that some of the programs won't be available
During
right
the
away.
summer.
Yeah.
Lindsay, are they gonna do any kind of programming over the school breaks, February, April?
So
us,
Jason
or-
is very interested in doing that. We had
Okay.
talked about it starting it this year.
Okay, great.
As long as everyone's in support of that, we have the facilities. I say, why not? Just try it. Let's
Yeah.
try it. Because there is such a need for it.
Does Jason, is he connected now to the Canandaigua Y, or is that all changing now that the Y has moved? to
That is
building?
also a great question. So right now he is part of the Rochester YMCA, but working in the Canandaigua YMCA. So he's actually helping through that whole transition. There's a lot of transition going on right now.
Yeah. Okay,
All right, and then on the RMRB Onondaga Upland status, so we're still waiting on the survey right now. When the leaves have fallen, that's where we're at right now. So Tom Fromberger said that as soon as he's from MRB. He said as soon as he has an update, he's gonna send it over to Doug and myself with a timeline and phasing plan for us to look at. So my hopes is by next meeting, I can present something to you guys on that, just so we all have some visibility. I know we're super excited and anxious. A lot of that is scheduled work for next year for that phase one with that new roadway.
and again, that was out of that June 30th meeting. That you guys were, I wasn't there, so that the town board has asked them to
Mhm.
do more work, so.
Yeah, and they felt that they wouldn't get an accurate survey right now during summer with all the foliage on the leaves, so they want to have the most accurate survey completed, which makes sense. Okay, I think it's a lot of my updates right now. I mean, we're just wrapping up on projects and getting ready for next year with purchasing some things. I am pursuing that kiosk at Outhouse Park, the digital one. I'm working with a vendor right now just to get the specs and potential pricing. We do have the money in the budget this year, and once I get more of those details, I'm presenting it to the town board. And as long as I have their approval, I'm gonna go ahead with that.
How is your budget for next year?
Great.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Everything that I had requested, I would say minus 2 small items got approved.
Okay.
So if you guys would like, I would be happy to present what those projects are for next year at our next meeting. A
Great.
brief
Sure.
overview.
Yeah, perfect.
Just a handout.
Yep.
A lot of it is Onondaga, continuing with the paving of our pathways.
Mhm.
We have not heard about the grant yet, the decision from the grant that we had applied for that paving. But regardless, if we don't get it, we are still gonna plan it out, budget for it, because we all know there's a need for that. Fingers crossed that we do get it. So the paving and accessibility is really a key focus for next year, and the uplands. Pavilion, there's a lot of things. Auburn Trail, all the above. All right, sorry.
No, good, keep going.
Okay, I talked about parks events already. Senior programming. Karen, thank you for the feedback on that trip that you guys had to
Yeah,
Naples.
that was, it was a good idea. That everybody enjoyed it.
Then we'll do it again next year. We'll
That-
put it on the,
And the one where they, last month when they went to Seneca Farms.
Where
loved
did you
it.
go in
They
Naples,
liked
Karen?
that too. What?
Where did you go in Naples?
I didn't go. They went to,
What do you mean you didn't go? Come on.
I can't do stairs. I have such a,
I,
you want to hear my story
No, I
about the
don't.
After.
doctor? The
Tell 'em after.
doctor
Yeah,
that
after.
cut a
Yeah.
muscle accidentally and
afterwards.
crippled me for
Where
life.
did the senior group
Okay,
go? in
they
Naples?
went to the Roots Cafe and the
Oh, nice.
Imagine, no, what's the name of that? Inspire More.
Yes, and
Oh,
so
nice.
winery,
Very
yeah.
nice. Yeah,
Nice little fun outing.
Yeah.
perfect.
So, and,
I'm close to that. I can hop on that train.
Might
pretty
as well.
soon.
well, you can
You can
go.
still go, it's adults, you know,
Yeah.
it's 21 and up for that trip.
And they, it was nice because they stopped and let them take photos of the foliage. And they took the high road. So it was a nice
Nice.
trip for
Good.
them. They
Excellent.
enjoyed that. And we will be on for needing the bus for February. And I don't have the date yet. That is a senior date. So
Awesome.
in February, we go to the Monsignor Schnacky Players performance. Thursday nights are free for seniors. They're actually dress rehearsals, so they have 3 Thursday nights that seniors can go. And
That was
Because-
popular last
Because I'm a
year.
member of the group, I always get us a table right in front of the stage. So it's really, we're really lucky to where we get to sit. That everybody loves it. So,
Awesome.
Yeah.
I am planning on reaching out to Brian from Victor.
yeah, I was too.
I had an idea just to continue to expand our programs, and I'm not sure if he'll want to do this, but as you guys know, they have a very, what would you say, an incredibly great senior program up in Victor.
They have a really great adult program, and while we, call it a senior program, it really is an
It's
adult
for
program.
adults.
But their program, I mean, I've gone on some of the trips where there's 50-year-olds in it.
Mhm.
So it's for people 50 and older, no kids. And they're pretty much well attended. So it was great to piggyback onto their trips because we can't
Mhm.
get enough to fill a bus.
So that was my thought, is to piggyback off of their trips. We have the transportation for, not just our residents, but locally speaking, stay at Outhouse as a pickup, but join them on their events. We pay for the bus. People can just come and they just join in just to get the numbers. So I do want to reach out to Brian. Again, not sure if that's going to be received. I would hope so,
Mhm.
but that's just another thing I would like to add to our senior programming, just to
And-
expand it.
The nice thing about Victor is they own 2 minibuses.
Mhm.
So they have their own bus. So they have an out to lunch bunch that will go on the bus, and they also have monthly dinners during the nice weather. And they, people can drive there or they can take the bus, but they're well attended. So,
Increased socialization.
yeah.
And then next Halloween at Ononda. So as you guys are aware, that is Saturday from 2 to 5. If you guys want to volunteer with setup, we are going to be setting up on Friday, starting at 10 a.m. until we're pretty much done. We have a really good plan in place for that. And then the event should be great. So we have obviously a lot of candy.
I
Lots
plan,
of
I
candy.
had an email too from Oksana. I'm gonna go down Saturday morning.
Perfect.
So I don't know if there's anybody else
I'm going
Saturday
Friday,
that's,
Friday morning.
okay. So I don't know, Dan, if you're gonna be around or who's gonna be there for,
I can be there in the afternoon.
okay,
Sure.
so the Saturday 2 to 5.
It's 2 to
What
5.
what time are you
Five.
going down in the morning?
So 10 to noon, Oksana said.
I might be
So-
around in the morning. I can't be
But-
there for the event.
Yeah, so, will you, just so we know, are you gonna be there Saturday? Will you be there?
This Friday.
Okay, and you'll be there during the event on
Yeah.
Saturday? Okay, so
Did Dave have decorations for the?
I picked up the sign, I'll bring I'll bring a table. They'll have the bales of straw,
Yeah,
the
I know, they
pumpkins.
did that, the pumpkins.
I've got some other little Halloween things. So we should be okay, decoration, same, it's gonna look the same as it did in 2019, pretty
It's
much.
okay.
So play a little scary music and
It's good.
so, yeah.
So
So
required to dress up.
Yeah, scary.
I
costume.
have worn a costume before
Oh, yeah.
and
I
it
am
seems like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Seems like last time I might have just worn like my Buffalo Bills jersey or something. So
I was a
or-
witch.
maybe I,
Oh,
I
Might have
know
worn
you
a-
don't look surprised.
can I borrow that?
Canandaigua football jersey I wore one year, just,
Jared
So-
Simpson said he's dressing up.
Well, Jared
so
would.
You guys bring your
So.
costumes.
I did have an old band costume that was in the field house, Evans Field House,
There you
the
go.
old marching band costume.
Oh,
I did
yes.
wear that, I wore that one year too.
With a skirt.
So, no, it was actually, black pants
The
and a
hat.
red junior or senior academy. I can't remember what it looked like, but it was the old school
Yeah.
with the white hat, the whole 9 yards.
God.
That might be in the back of the closet. I'll have
Probably
to look.
wore that.
Yeah, I
I did have one.
Yeah,
I did have one more thing. I'm sorry, I overlooked it. Was the resident that I spoke to about horseshoes.
Yeah.
So he had just asked if we had any horseshoes in our park. Obviously, we don't right now. But then when him and I were looking just in the area for public places that had horseshoes, there's really nowhere public in a public park. So I know it was slated in our parks master plan, I believe, for Blue Heron, which right now we have kind of nixed that. I do think it would be a good idea and an inexpensive thing to install in, say, Pierce Park. We have the space next to the volleyball
That's
courts.
true.
If the committee would consider doing something like that if we even want to. Obviously, it wouldn't happen next year because we don't have money in the budget for that, but that could be an item I put on 24.
Where would they get the shoes?
It's a great question. This gentleman has his own.
Yeah, I guess some people would.
Well, and I guess I might, would you go with the rubberized ones? for
If we were to supply them,
safety?
probably.
Or I just think you put the stakes in the ground and you say, if you want to come play horseshoes, you got to bring your own.
You know,
And we don't provide frisbees at the frisbee golf. We don't provide bocce balls. We
I
don't,
should, I'm
You know.
saying, yeah,
so. But, and I don't think you just leave them there,
no,
so. I mean, was,
We have the space
yeah,
yeah,
at that.
I'm not, I don't
particular-
know how much it would get used.
I don't either, but I
Yeah.
mean, this gentleman, I guess, is an avid horseshoe person and it's something he enjoys with his son.
Would you call him a
and-
horseshoer?
I don't know,
I didn't
horseshoe
know.
man, the horseshoer. So, I mean, there might be other people out
Yeah.
there that are like that as well. and-
I think it's an easy thing to set up and it's there, and if it goes a few years and nobody uses it, it's pretty easy to undo,
Mhm.
so, yeah.
Just wanted to bring it up
Yeah.
since they had
And you had
expressed
discussed
interest.
it. Yep,
Excellent. That's all my news for today.
we're in good shape then.
We're in great
Part- we-
shape.
The other thing is, we have to talk about dates, start thinking about dates for
next year.
concerts and movies for next year. So just to start getting that.
Well, obviously, movie is later in the summer.
So this year, the issue was St. Mary's
Mhm.
mhm.
Festival. I think that really hurt.
Sure.
Well, it's on the St. Mary's calendar for that same,
Same week,
that last
Yeah.
full weekend. It's like the 28th,
Yeah, it's on set.
yeah,
that last weekend. So I don't know if we would shoot for the Friday before that.
well, they go Thursday, Friday,
Yeah.
Saturday.
Right, right. So we do the Friday before that,
The weekend before.
a full week ahead of where we did it this time.
Yep,
So that would be August 18th.
I mean, is
can't
that,
go later, can't go later, you're in school.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think mid-August is fine.
I think 18th is fine.
Yeah, I mean,
Personally.
I think competing with the St. Mary's Festival hurt,
Yeah.
really hurt the attendance.
Did we want to do a Friday night or a different weekday? I know that was something we had all
Mm.
kind of discussed that night.
You mean a night during the week?
Yeah, versus Friday
Boy, it
night.
just seems like by the time we're out of there on a weeknight, it's after 10 o'clock and.
Says the retired guy.
No, I'm thinking I'm thinking for kids
I know.
and for families.
Summer, they're
So,
not going
yeah.
to school the next day.
The Parents are and they gotta get them home. I'm fine with whatever. I mean,
I think the 18th.
I think Friday's a good night,
Yeah.
and you can't really start it earlier,
No.
because you're not gonna be able to see.
Right.
So,
yeah, I wouldn't want to go any earlier in the month because just,
No,
Doesn't get dark early
Right.
enough, yeah.
right. So do we, right now, just kind of
say the 18th.
say the 18th to have an idea that we're gonna shoot for the 18th?
And concerts can go, concerts are not light sensitive, but we do have competing municipalities with Granger Homestead and the city and but I think before we start looking at pencil and and we kind of figure out if they've penciled anything in.
Last year we did was it the second Wednesday of July and the second Wednesday of August? And that seemed, David said that the Granger had done theirs on Thursdays in the past. Was their night. Do we, again, just,
Did we run into something, was that a movie that we ran into the issue, was the movie with the city, right?
with the city?
Mhm.
road?
People were
So-
saying, well, I didn't know which one it was or what day it was, right?
Because they had it the next
Don't
day.
bite your lip. Because you're biting your lip.
Yeah. Everyone was informed well in advance on our date.
Okay, so I just don't want to compete with people
Yeah,
if we don't have to.
That's why we set our dates now. Get it out there.
I'm fine with that.
so I think, are we good with, and again, we budgeted, I think, for 2 concerts and a movie.
Well,
Right,
let's,
same as this year.
so if we set our dates now.
And we
it-
find
and-
out-
And it is a conflict with somebody, we say, okay, it's far enough in advance, we'll switch our
Yeah.
date.
So why don't we go the same
Will be
as
the
we did
adult.
last summer?
To be like July
Yeah.
12th, August
Yeah.
9th, and
Yeah.
movie the 18th of August.
Yeah.
I don't have an Alaska trip planned right now, but that can change. I mean, if you know the McNeil boys, that could change in a heartbeat.
I know they Neil parents.
Wow.
They're all over the place.
Off to Guam? How's
Might
it
be a
like
trip
it
to
so
Guam.
far? Is he like it doing all right?
Yeah,
Good.
loves it. So I think we should try to have two a different band
Mhm.
rather than the
I would
same
like
one
to, I would like
twice
to
in a
have
row.
two different bands.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, okay,
Mhm.
so that's something we can start thinking about. So as you're out and about
I
at
mean,
fall
I
festivals.
mean, what are we
if you
looking
hear-
at? Because I'll tell you, I know the guy who brings a lot of people in. That's, Brian.
Thibodeau?
no,
Burley.
Burley.
Oh, Burley, yep.
I mean, he has a big following. I mean, there's a lot of bands out there, but I don't know
Yeah.
I don't know cost wise what you're looking at. I mean,
I
as
think
far
did
as
we budget
paying
500 per,
Mhm.
per
Yeah.
event.
yeah,
So let me throw one more stick in the mud here. If there was a business that had the licenses to serve alcohol at an event, they could do this there if they jump through the hoops or not.
Not right now, not the way town code is currently written. It is very specific to Ononda only.
Okay, that's all I need to know.
But we could always change town code.
Okay, well, I know of one, it's a city business, but has inquired about,
I think during our events, we all had kind of discussed something of that nature, and I feel like the committee supports maybe
Except
moving
not
in
a
a
family
direction
movie
like
night.
that.
not a family movie night. I was, no, I was thinking concert. I was
Yeah.
absolutely thinking
yeah.
concert. I was thinking concerts all the way.
Mhm.
I mean, they're not crazily attended, they're not attended by a lot of
Rowdy young kids.
younger
Mhm.
people. But to be able to sit and listen to music and have a drink and have a beer or two
It'd be nice
would be nice.
on a nice
Yes.
summer
Yes,
evening,
correct.
strolling on our beautiful paths.
Yes, that are,
Paved
yes,
Paved
paved paths that you can, kids can rollerblade down now.
We can do that now.
That's a good rollerblade.
But-
It is.
But
That is
how
a
are
very
you
good
going
point.
to ensure that drinks aren't well purchased and handed out to underage people?
So the
I-
liability would fall on
On
the person who holds the alcohol license
I
to serve.
understand that, but which is fairly, it's good when you're in a confined space, like a building at Ononda. But when you have the full park around you, it's really hard to police it.
Well, obviously, there would be some hurdles to jump through. I agree with you on that, Karen. But I also believe that if there were people there at the concert last year who
Absolutely.
had their own
I know,
little,
they bring their
Coolers or
coolers, yes,
okay.
I agree.
so
Red Solo Cup.
if somebody was willing to give us a couple $100 so they could come and set up their truck, I'd be all for that. But it would take some monitoring.
Well, and I think that's where we could partner with our police department to even have just a presence, whether it's one officer just for security reasons, you know, I mean, that's common to see at events
I have no problem
anyways.
putting on an orange vest and walking around telling somebody, show me your ID if they've got a drink. No problem with that at all.
Could you do the bracelet thing?
Could do the bracelet thing.
Get an idea?
The age
Show
group
your
is
ID.
pretty high at this concert.
I
there's really
believe,
a lot of
I agree.
teenagers
That's,
going out.
that's the other part of it.
Yeah,
I think so too.
I don't, there's no a lot of roaming teenagers, and it's not a huge crowd. It's not a
No.
CMAC event. This is a very pretty controlled
Yeah.
group.
Agreed.
I don't think it's, you.
So yes, Randy, if you wanted to progress with any, that, go ahead and,
Okay.
and we could look into it. No guarantees that it could happen. and
Yeah.
There are some hoops that would need to be jumped.
I mean, the
Jump
person
through.
I know who reached out to me when he was on committee, he's got the farm license, he's got, okay, he's got 3 different licenses. You know, the New York State, selling only New York State stuff, so.
Yeah, let me chat with Doug on what that process looks like. So
Okay.
I know that would have to be an amendment to the town code. Obviously supported or not supported by the committee.
Mhm.
So if you guys support that, then I think, what do you need to do, a motion for me to?
Do we need to discuss that here now, or is that something?
No, I can get, how about I gather more information and I'll present that to you guys in December and then we can
That
see
sounds
which
great.
route we want to go
That sounds
Good
great.
idea.
to.
So nobody yet, after a year, has taken advantage of the ability to hold an event at Onanda.
They have.
Oh, and they've used the alcohol license?
We've
I
had
didn't
two.
know,
We've had
no
two.
kidding.
Weddings
Yes.
or,
Yeah, weddings, and then I think one was a anniversary,
great.
so. And then I got two more inquiries about people wanting to host weddings there next year again, so in addition to the other ones.
I think that's really gonna fill up with weddings.
I want to
hope
get
so.
some kind of trellis
Oh, that'd be nice.
down by the water, so
Yeah.
people could even, they
Well, I
don't even
think
have to
you're
rent
gonna
anything, they
find-
could just have
you'll-
a ceremony or
I think you're
something.
gonna find more people who are doing that, who are
Oh, yeah.
they'll want to get married right
Yeah,
there.
I mean, you know that view I'm talking
Oh my
about.
gosh.
over
A
past the
pergola- a
fishing dock.
pergola would be
Yes, a
beautiful
pergola,
right
something.
there.
Yes.
Picture
Yes.
perfect.
Talk to New Energy Works.
Yeah.
Well, they're doing the Motion Junction
Oh, yeah,
building.
they are. Loop that in, Karen.
So that's all I had, unless there's any other things, and then we could
We can bag.
We can back in.
start stuffing bags.
Yay.
I'm
Assembly
awfully stuffing
line.
bags.
Last year I had a bunch of seventh graders that did this.
Well,
Where are
then
they
you had to
going?
get retired.
Now, where am I?
All right.
So do we need a motion to?
Yeah.
Yes.
Track.
Motion to adjourn, if someone did that,
I
that'd be
would
great.
make an emotion to adjourn and stuff bags.
I said.
Yep, 7.